God, it looks sick. This is such a good shot.
Such a good shot, those upper rocks. Now, those rocks, they look quite simple from the drone cam there.
Yeah,
but
even
they
that
are
little
jagged.
section. Yeah.
That is so rough.
And you come in with so much speed and then suddenly, bang, left, all these rocks.
I mean, we've heard so many people talk about this bike park section of trail, but that is such a difficult section to race.
Yeah, it's not, it doesn't mean it's easy at all. It's almost harder to race a bike park.
Yeah. Because it's so simple. You're chasing those little intricacies, interesting little sharp section there that does not set our riders up like, oh my goodness, Raphael.
And it's cool because the crowd up there, like they've got stands up there, they've got a screen, and everyone's just kind of having a good day.
Good crowd building up on the track here in Leogang. The Austrians love their racing. He goes for that little lily pad we saw.
Yeah, there's like two main lines there really, and I don't know, like middle or like wide, they're kind of equal.
They do look equal. We saw Dakota Norton tackle that one with absolute precision yesterday. He's got the speed tuck in.
And you can hear the drone, because when you're racing, the drone here is so close to you, and you do hear it. You're riding, you do actually hear the drone. And you're thinking, okay,
what do you think? What do you think when that comes up behind you?
Just think, crikey, I hope the pilot's not going to hit me. Get tangled in your ponytail. Right, Gwynny's here now, so I'm out. Thank you.
Rachel Atherton, thank you so much for joining us for an exciting junior women's final race here today. That was exceptional to watch and exceptional to have you in here. We'll have Rachel back with us later for our elite women's final. For now, one legend to another. We swap the headset over as Raphael sets our first time for our junior men's. He's charging here today. The speed has lifted. Aaron Gwynn stepped into the booth, mate. A brother from another mother. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Good to be here, man. Back in Leogang. Yeah, there we go.
Back in Leogang, a fond place of yours. Plenty of stories to tell that we will dip into later throughout today. It's a little bit spicy and all things nicey up there. What can you see out on track?
Yeah, it's, I mean, definitely just a tricky one, right? We had pretty much a perfect racetrack yesterday at the end of semis, and then as Leogang has been doing every evening, the thunderstorm rolled in. Last night's was particularly big, and it rained a lot for a couple of hours. So, yeah, these guys are really trying to have to change things up. It's always tricky to do this on a race day. When you come in, you get your lines dialed, then it downpours, you get a couple runs of practice in the morning, and then you got to go have your best run on a track that's probably the worst it's been all week. So, tricky one. Was watching some video footage this morning of the guys, and everybody was definitely sliding around a lot. Yeah, it's going to make for a good day of racing, but track should just get better as every hour passes by.
We can see the sun shining brightly in the finish bowl here. Raphael gives us a little bit of flavour to the line. He starts the day with a 3:25.8. Oh, he's cooked from that one. He was keen to charge down the track here today. Arm pump is real. We've got Vincent Juvenal, another fast young Frenchie on track here. He goes for the high line.
Yeah, tricky here in Leogang. You got this middle motor section here, motorway as we call it, and it really kind of empties the tank, and then you get down here to where it gets really technical. Heart rate's pretty maxed out, and then you got to kind of slow yourself down and really focus on the finer details. Looks like he must have had a problem in the first split, because the rest of his splits are fairly in touch.
Yeah, he's 23 seconds back there, so an obvious problem in that upper section. So before we get to the Champions Stump Hall of Fame there. Whoa! Oh, hold on to it. Oh, it's all over.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Tough one. Yeah, that upper section, we didn't see it on camera, but there's some really gnarly kind of off-camber grass straightaways up there towards the top, just out of the start gate. And those this morning after the rain, when they're in the open, they are really hard just to make it through there. Those will get better pretty quick since they're not in the trees, but for these first couple of riders here, this section that he's basically coming into right here is the first of two off-cambers. This one's better than the next one. The next one's really gnarly.
Raphael Gambi's on track. Charging hard. What has he got for us? As we eagerly await to see the split times. He's in touch. He's actually 0.2 of a second up. He lost a little bit of time through that motorway section, but he's made it up in the steep and deep woods. Charging all the way to the bottom. That corner, we've seen so many people lose it right there at the finish. Finn Isles last year, Loris Vergier a few years ago.
Yep, Jackson Goldstone as well, I think, last year. Really important for him to get through here well. He's right there. It's going to be close.
Charging across the line, gives us the lunge. What's he got for us? Rafael Giambi comes in first place with a 3:23. Times are starting to drop.
Wow, good push. That's a lot of time to make up in those last few turns.
Now, speaking of fast Kiwis, Ryan Hastings, the junior talent coming out of New Zealand at the moment, is real, and it is amazing to see the Southern Hemisphere athletes make the effort to come all the way over here.
Yeah, pretty cool to see this next wave. I know when I started racing, it was, you know, Sam Blenkinsop and Brooke McDonald, Windmasters, just a whole group of Kiwis kind of coming up together. We're kind of starting to see that again, especially in the junior women's class that we just saw. So many fast riders. It's always nice when you got a group like that, because when you're at home and you're doing your local races, you've got, you know, the same competition you're going to be racing at the top level at the World Cups. It kind of pushes you along.
Now this final corner, look at those ruts getting deeper and deeper. Watch Loic Bruni take an interesting, oh, just clips a little course marker. Loic Bruni missed all of those ruts yesterday, made a huge difference. What has Ryan got for us? Ryan Hastings across the line, and he goes into third with a 5.4 seconds back from our #1 seed at the moment. The young Austrian Julian Koch. He's in the start gate next in front of his home crowd. How good does that feel, racing in front of home? You've done this, you've won this at home before.
Yeah, there is nothing like racing in front of the home crowd. It was really cool here yesterday. We were standing in the finish line, and even some of the Austrian riders, almost saved it.
Oh, and he was on one. Oh, he was 10 seconds back. He's had a bit of a hugie at some point there, but he's just tucked the front into that decisive wood section. Oh, man, that is claiming scalps so far today. 3 of our top women's have come undone in that section. And the young Austrian, unfortunately, pushes the front in that low line. What do you think, and what's your vibe for that section there, Aaron? Inside or go low?
Yeah, I mean, as we saw in the junior women's, the high line isn't easy either. I think there's just a lack of grip in there altogether. Those roads, yeah.
Oh, yeah, boy. That was sick. Love to see it with a bit of style. He's made a mistake, but he's having a good time out there. And as if you can't, the sun is shining right now, but he's here in front of his friends and family and representing that Austrian jersey. Well done, mate.
Meow. We're going to try to sneak those in, as many as we can.
We can start an Easter egg hunt. You let us know how many you count, and we'll hide them where we can. Lucas Lumlane.
Looking good out of the gate there.
Charging that low line. Seems to be the rider favourite so far. There was a few high lines stepping up before. Look.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the story of the first half of the day at least, because the track right now is still really slippery.
Oh, young Julian's not having one. No, yeah. Lucas, sorry. Julian was
there.
before him, but Lucas, hopefully he's okay. Gavin Tomlinson. What can you tell me about young Gavin here? Charging hard. Whoa.
Yeah, boy.
Hold on to it, Leroy.
Yeah, love this kid, man. One of the nicest kids you ever meet. He spends quite a bit of time with our junior on our team, Mikey, and good friends. He's been out at Windrock riding a little bit in the off season. Just really good kid, man. Works really hard. Lives in California, so this will be a tricky challenge for him in the wet.
Speaking of tricky, he's pulling himself out of the crash net, out of the bunting there as he comes into the woods. Unfortunately, he's had a bit of a hugie coming into the key section here. Oh, my goodness, look at the speed of the man.
Yeah, just loaded up a little hard over the front wheel there.
Oh, I hate to say it, but this is classic junior racing at its finest right now. How difficult is it to come into this calm as we see our next rider on course, Will Hines.
Yeah, British rider. These boys know how to ride the mud, so it'll be interesting to see what the time looks like. It's going to be a hard balance for these boys. It's
I mean, to stay calm, it's been raining all night. You can feel the stress. I'm stressed for them.
Yeah, as a junior too, you know, you just want to go really fast. These boys aren't afraid to hang it out, and when the conditions are like this, sometimes cooler heads prevail, as we're seeing here. He's on a good, smooth one. Got to be able to find that balance and continue to be smooth. You know, you can't rush it in these corners because the mistakes will happen really quick. Kind of just got to get through here. Looks like as if he can survive this last turn. Nice, get over this jump. Oh, he's lost some time somewhere there in the woods.
He has lost some time. He's lost 5 seconds in that steep and deep section there. He was 0.3 up after the motorway, and we noticed he gave it a bit of a wheelie pump through the motorway section, but he's 5 seconds back now. Goes that outside line, jumps over the ruts. I like that. That gives you a little bit of extra speed coming into the bottom bit. Like I said before, we saw that at Loic Bruni. He went around the ruts and was accelerating where others were getting hung up. So what's Young Will got for us? Young Will goes into 4th place with a 3:30. 6.2 back after a bit of carnage.
Yeah, this could be a big run.
This could be a real big run. Ryan Griffith, the tall and lanky Canadian, charging on track here.
Love watching this kid ride. Super tall, a little bit kind of like Greg Menard. He's got a lot of length on the bike. He moves around, kind of does things that a lot of guys would have a harder time doing. Makes it look easy. It's hard to see here. We're not seeing the splits, but he looks clean, and he looks like he's flowing good, so this could be a really good time.
He's letting that bike dance underneath him there. That big, lanky style, just let that bike eat. Looks a little bit Jack Moyer-ish coming down there.
Yeah. Hard on the gas here. Yeah, he's pretty close.
He's 2 seconds back through the woods. What has he got to the finish line in that final decisive section? He's 2.2 back. Ryan Griffith goes into 3rd place with a 3:25.9.
Yeah, a little shake of the head there. He knows he probably left some time out there somewhere.
Roy Ostfield. I remember seeing Roy last year in Andorra when their junior race got cancelled. He was not scared one bit to get out there and ride.
Holding on to it. That section through there is so tricky because there's kind of these outside lines, or you can try to straight line it, but you're real tight to the trees. Man, he's right there, though.
He's right there. He's only 0.065 back as he came into the wood section. So what has he got for us in the steep and deep as we approach split 4? He's almost at the finish line. He was up. Has he still got green to the finish line?
Yeah,
he navigates those final ruts. Oh, come on, Roy.
That looked fast to me through those last turns.
Charging all the way to the line, leaving nothing out there. Rui Osterfield comes across. Oh, he's 3.1 back, so he has had a slight little mistake there. He did get a little bit wild, as we saw. Oh, you can feel
a couple stall-ups coming out before that big jump.
Clement Logier on track. How difficult is it to maintain composure in these first 2 sections? I mean, this off-camber grass section is so difficult to maintain speed through. Yeah,
and that first turn is like the best berm of the whole year. So you just rip out of that thing with all kinds of speed. Second turn, you're like full fresh straight out of the start gate, and then you got to take it easy through there because it can get away from you quick. Easy to get excited. Top part of this track for sure.
Now, we've asked Rachel about this. I'm not going to get too excited with your chainless run just yet, but are you... Oh, no!
I was just going to say he's going for the inside line there. That's going to be real gnarly to do in the wet.
Oh, no. Clement's just got hung up there. Oh, he goes the inside, 2 inside, and misses the outside catch burn. Wowzers. That is exactly why we have crash netting. He would still be tumbling down the mountain if our Michelin man was not there to catch him.
Save there. Boy, didn't actually crash.
Imagine if he rode out of it. My goodness, that would be impressive. So unfortunate mistake there for young Clement. Bodie Burke. Now, speaking of talent, USA is starting to develop some extremely strong downhill talent, which I sneakingly suspect is part of your legacy.
I don't know if I can hold on to it, boy. Take too much credit for it, but yeah, we got a really good crew at home now starting to come out. Same thing with the Kiwis we were just chatting about, right? It's like these guys are all kind of riding, racing together at home, pushing each other. Got a good race series at home now, national series that's popped up. So definitely have everything that these boys need to kind of come over here and step into it at this level.
Now, he doesn't look to have had a big mistake, but he's just sliding back down split after split. He is seemingly clean at the moment, all the way to the finish line. So young Bodie, he's going to come across the line with a 3:33, 9 seconds back. Bodie goes into 7th place. Action aplenty so far. We've still got plenty to come. Rico Miobo charging that big lanky style. Goes for the big jump. All right, Aaron, pedal or tuck? Not including a chainless run.
I think ideally he looks like he's got it dialed in pretty good. You get through those...
Commentator's curse. That was a hugie.
Yeah.
He fell about 20 feet to his face then. Oh, unfortunate. And He got out of that pretty lucky, to be fair.
Yeah, look at his jersey when he gets up. You can't really tell on camera, but that stuff is still real muddy. That top layer. Leogang's tricky because there's a bit of a rock base to the dirt. So because it's been dry every day and it'll rain and it'll pack in, the track is really hard packed. So that rain, it doesn't soften up the track a lot here to where the tires actually start to dig in. It just kind of creates this like slick blue groove on top of hard pack, which is what they're dealing with right now.
And that must be difficult for tire selection, right? We've heard a lot of athletes this morning going for a mid-mud, not a full mud, but a mid-mud. But that hard pack base, as we see... Oh, Lucas. I thought he snapped the chain out of the gate there. Speaking of Aaron Gwynn style, another American.
Yeah, Lucas had a good qualifying run yesterday. Had some good runs this year so far in the first 2 World Cups. Definitely has some speed. We're seeing it again here now.
He's definitely got some speed. He's 1.3 up through those woods. He's charging hard to the finish line. Just got to hold up a little bit there. Oh, hold on to it, Lucas. You're almost there, mate. He's pedaling.
He's got to be strong here. We know riders are losing some time down here. He's got to push.
Oh, calm the farm, mate. You're almost there. Lucas Todora comes across the line. 0.02 into the hot seat with a 3:23. He'll be happy with that. That's right. There's nothing in it.
That was a good save there at the end, and he knows it.
Almost got ejected out the front door. We get into some of our fastest seeds, and we'll start to see a little bit more of our Leogang course here. Rory Meek. The brothers Meek have been having a great weekend so far from Meek Racing. Rory's charging into the steep section down the lower part here. Not scared of the mud one bit. One thing Kiwis are good at is riding in the slippery, gnarly terrain. He's charging to the line here. He's 2.8 seconds back out of the woods. He lost a little bit of time in the first 2 splits. He made it back up in that pivotal motorway section, actually pulling back a second, 1.2 seconds. But he's lost a bit in the woods. What's Rory got for us as he charges to the line? Another big, strong rider. Rory Meek comes across the line with a 3:26, 2.7 back, and goes into 5th position.
Yep, he seems to know. Not bad, not great. Solid run from him, though.
Isaac, Rudy Eichhorn. Got that 50th.
Oh boy.
Wowzers.
I was going to say,
ejected. Is he getting ejected on that style? What's going on here? Young Isaac. Oh, he's got a bit of dirt on the shoulder. He's touched the ground. He's run out of talent somewhere up there, unfortunately.
Oh, he was up at the first split, too. Yeah, he's going for it. I was going to say, straight out of the gate, that first turn was full commitment. Loaded up over the handlebars there.
Wow.
It's
junior racing, is there a space to be calm, cool, collected here, or is this where you need to figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, you need to figure it out, but I think you got to be quick to learn. You know, try not to make these mistakes more than once or twice if you can.
Or hurt yourself.
Yep, and it's hard, though, because you think, I just got to go as fast as I possibly can go every inch of the track, but as you get a little experience, you start to learn where it's kind of...
Young Isaac pushing a little bit too hard.
Yeah, you kind of start to learn where it's worth pushing and where it's not. You know, you might be able to take a lot of risk for a little reward, and you tend to start to pick and choose those sections where you want to hang it out a little bit more as you get older.
Mike Hooter on course right now.
This guy's had some big runs the last couple of years. This could definitely be a new top 10 if he throws it together here.
That was nice through there, flowing well.
Yep. This is a guy we were just talking about. He's got a little more experience. Second-year junior, some solid rides last year. I would expect that Mike could potentially kind of manage this race run pretty well here on where to take the risk and where to not. He's got to survive the bottom, but... Good
entry to the motorway. He's 1.7 up there. So what we're seeing, he's 2.26 up as we see the second split time come on our screens. So what we're seeing is reflective of the time.
Yeah, this is what I was just saying. I would expect this out of him. He's got a little more experience. He's been here before. He's managing this run, kind of picking the spots to push. Yeah, looking good here.
We heard from Rachel earlier how difficult it is to navigate these jumps at race pace at the top section. You're not really pulling for these jumps, are you? You're just letting them come at you and trying not to get bucked off the back.
Yeah, you're riding real light on the bike, trying to get those pumps and kind of stay tucked in, too. You're going so fast. If you stand real tall on the bike, you kind of become a sail. Yeah, he's extending down here. This is nice. He's got a little room to play with here, so if he can just be smart kind of keep the wheels rolling through here and avoid the big one.
Almost gets his weight thrown on the front. That mistake started early. Can he recover through the lower part? He gets into that high line. Navigates it well. He's riding a bit loose at the moment. You can see those arms are pumped up. The eyes are wide. Hold on to it. Here we go. Mike's on one here. He's riding the limit, and we love to see it. Charges the inside line.
Nice. It's got to get clipped back in here, though. That is a really hard one to do. You come out of your pedal. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You got to get back in, or it's going to be really hard to balance.
That's that limit. You can ride the limit only for so long. The best riders in the biz know where that limit is, and they ride just below it. As soon as you go over, it is practically impossible to recover from it. Now, he did have 4.6 seconds to play with. He was getting faster and faster. That mistake was not huge, but can he recover?
Yeah,
as we head into split 5.
Good recovery. He's got a little more time. He's got to make sure he gets through here clean. Don't give any more away. Think he can still get this done.
Charging to the line. Big sprint to finish. What's Mike got for us? Can he recover from that little mistake, that little pad kiss? He can. Mike Hooter goes into the lead with a 3:20. 3.5 seconds up on the competition. Wow, what a run. Just flirting with it.
Yeah, it's all right. If you're going to make some mistakes down there, I think you can afford it. You just got to keep the wheels rolling. You got to avoid hitting the deck and coming to a stop.
The Kiwis continue. Luke Wayman from the Gravity Cartel Road Racing. A lot of Aussies and a lot of Kiwis coming over to Leogang here this weekend. A course favourite for many of our Southern Hemisphere frothers. Luke's on track. He's 1.4 back at split 2. He comes under the Motol Bridge there. What's he got for us at split 3? Look at the speeds. 54.3 kilometres an hour. Coming through the motorway section. 2.7 back as he gets into the woods. Now that little section just coming onto the bridge there, Aaron, is seemingly catching a few riders out. And right there, that dappled light, as we see the sun come out, that in and out, it's going to catch more than one rider out. That inside line.
Yeah, as you can see, the dirt there isn't very soft. Like, it's pretty hard pack up there. And then you get those roots. All those roots are super wet, especially when riders, that was a nice inside line. We haven't seen anybody pull that one off yet in the wet. But, yeah, he's looking good down here. He's kind of finding that balance. Just smooth, nothing crazy, but keeping the wheels rolling, avoiding the mistakes, good lines, kind of hopping over stuff here. It's looking really clean.
Really clean, inside to inside. Looks quite cool and calm. To the lower section, scrubs over that. What is that, a creek gap or is it a river gap or is it a big gap in the woods?
It's a big gap you
it's
don't want to not make.
Just make it. In the wall! Through the Ronan Dunn rock garden.
It's looking good to me.
Here we go, 2.9 back. He is slightly back on the time, but Luke is making this entertaining for all of us to the finish line. What's Luke got for us? He comes across the line with a 3:20. Yeah. Wow!
I was going to say, I think he's pulling back some time down here.
Yeah, absolutely. You could visibly see how good he looked in that lower section. Nice and calm. Wow, he pulled back a lot of time in that lower section there. Those insides to insides. He comes home in second place, just 0.2 back. Just 0.2 back from Mike in first. John Moselle, the Canadian stomper.
Got that cool NF kit on there. Real bright.
Whoa.
Cool scrub off of that.
Noticing our windsocks there. There's a bit of wind picking up at the top of the track there. He's had a bit of a moment somewhere. He's 7 seconds back. And then 9 at split 2. So he's had a bit of a crash somewhere in those upper stumps. Or bike park section. What can John do down the bottom here? We saw it so.
Yeah, we know there's some time in the bottom of the track. We saw Hooter make a couple of those mistakes kind of down before the finish, so we know the time's there. Maybe we're going to see this crash here.
Oh, this is on the road section. He navigates that little. That's a tricky little section coming off that off camber.
This is the off camber right here that I was saying is going to be really slippery.
Yeah, he's kind of in no man's land, wasn't he? He wasn't on the high line, wasn't on that low defined line. Just got caught out by the conditions here. Lucas Lagnew from the Cannon Collective Pirelli team. Under the guidance of Fabian Burrell.
Yep.
Speaking of talent, there is some talent in this garage. What's he got for us as he approaches our first gnarly stump section?
Yeah, had a little chat with him, I think, after qualifying yesterday. Seemed happy. Seemed like there was some more time on the track. It seemed to be feeling confident for today.
He's 1.2 back in the upper section here.
That'll do it.
Not the end of the world, but he's got to pay attention. Lucas coming in a little bit hot there, and look how quickly these mistakes escalate. You just saw his front end get tucked at the entrance to that. He went a little bit too far, a bit of huckabuck into that wooded section. And just like that, it's all over. And now that compounding effect. Now, that mistake wasn't huge, but into this... Yeah, look at this. He just gets a bit buck wild there. Misses the lily pad and straight into the face of that tree stump. Whoa. Lucky he didn't donate his collarbone to that tree stump there.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. That section there, there's kind of a... It wants to push you right into that little S-turn, but these guys are kind of forcing up onto that off-camber to rider's left to set up for that, the exit of that next corner onto this long straightaway, but he got a little bit kicked and ended up kind of in between the two lines. And at that point, you're kind of along for the ride.
So unfortunately, Lucas has a bit of a hugie, but Till Alran on track.
All right. This is first of the Alran brothers. Oh, boy.
From the gun, he's on the limit.
Yeah. This could be some big runs coming up. These are the guys I would expect to really be challenging for that top time. Pretty much from here on out, these are all hitters on track now.
These are all hitters. This is the future. The future is here. He's 1.2 back from Mike Hooter in the upper section there. Navigating his way down. We expect young Till to become coming into his own as he steps into the woods. That inside line over the track down there. Surprisingly technical. Makes his way down through the bike park sections.
Yeah, getting out of that turn nice.
Now you can afford to be somewhat... not lazy, but not precise with your lines on the bike park bits. But from here down, you must be precise, Aaron.
Yeah, for sure. There's you just got to keep that momentum going on this track. It's one of those tracks that's actually pretty easy to ride fast at the top. It just kind of has that bike park. That was nice, actually. Made
that was lovely.
There.
Gets the double jump onto the motorway, carries good speed. There's no wind in our wid socks just yet, so that's still charging hard. He has lost 1 second to Mike in that upper section. Now, we saw before Mike had a bit of a mistake in the woods. Can Till hold it together, stay clean and stay smooth? As he approaches our lower section here, he opts not to jump some of our bigger tabletops, 13 and 16 meters in length. Those two bad boys are. I ran them myself. It hurt a lot.
Yeah, he's looking good, staying tucked here. That's what we talked about. You got to stay low on the bike so you can kind of keep that thing rolling forward. When you stand tall on the bike, you kind of become a bit of a wind cell. It's too fast down here to really pedal much, so the pumps and how much you can tuck really makes the difference.
You're trying to breathe down here to relax, get a little bit oxygen back in the body.
Take a couple big breaths, maybe even grab a shift. So if you have to pedal in the woods, you're in a smaller gear.
That's right.
Pretty much the track completely changes from here down.
And here we go. We've seen this corner here, straight into the woods, claim a few scalps.
I would expect Till to potentially make some time down here.
He's coming. He's definitely entering faster than we've seen. He goes for that low line. He is 4.5 back into the woods, and he's on the ground. Oh, Till charging a little bit too hard there. You could visibly see how quick he came into the woods. He went for that low line, and once again it claims and just pushes over the top there, Aaron.
Yeah, not much to push into there. As you can see, the log is kind of sticking out of the outside of that corner. Not much of a berm or a rut, so if you override it, get up onto the top of that thing, there's just no support.
And that's where we're talking about the inches, how precise you have to be. Do you think he was just maybe getting a bit ahead of himself and another huge high side? Oh, we can feel that one here in the commentary booth. Yeah, he's had enough. He's over it.
Yeah, you could see when he came into the woods, the way he hit those first couple corners, that he was just going to go for it. I think that's the risk you take, right? You can make some serious time down there, but if you make the mistakes, it can get away from you real quick. We'll see what his brother Max has to offer here. He had a really cool save. Kind of crashed in one of these off cameras this morning in practice.
We got to see Max in action earlier this year at Threadbow at the Cannonball Festival, riding well, getting some early season prep in the Australian summer. Oh, loves it.
Nice little BMX style, little bump jump.
Oh, that's a bit cheeky, isn't
Stretching it out.
Yeah. We'll see if it relates in time. He's 0.2 up in the second section, so he's navigated that top bit. He looks cool, calm, and collected as he comes down here. The manuals, a bit of style for show, but he's about a corner for dough as we get into the steeps down the bottom.
See if he sends this big gap onto the wall here. Nope, squashes it. All right.
Oh, yeah, he's looking
Game on
relaxed.
from here down. This is him to
Look at
to
the
go
difference
get.
here. You can see how much more relaxed and calm he is coming into the woods. Will this translate to this lower section that has claimed so many of our young athletes?
If he can just be smooth through here, we know Hooter gave away a little time with some of those mistakes down
that
here
low
towards
line.
the end. It's there to get. He's just got to hold it together.
Yeah,
Looks
see
like,
that? He just set up early in the pocket, which made sure it stayed, kept him in that rut.
Yep. Nice inside line there. You can see he's definitely being a little more patient than his brother was down here, and it's paying off.
And he's setting up early. You can see how early he's prepping in the corners. He's prepping his entrances for the exits.
Yeah, he's not rushing too. You can tell it's like these are good calculated decisions. Oh, yeah, and it's showing. He's up.
But there's 0.2 up. He's 0.2 up, so that's where Mike had a bit of a mistake. What's Max got for us? He's made it through the woods. Will he get a little bit more aggressive towards the bottom here? The final key section through our Shimano Rock Garden. Almost the easiest corner on track, yet the hardest. Navigates his way through the final ruts. Max Alran to the line. He had 0.2 of a second to play with.
Yeah, I don't know. He needs to push.
He needs to push. He scrubs the final jump all the way to the line. Max Alran comes across with 2.8 seconds up. Wow. Oh, Max Commensal.
What a run.
What a run. Max Alran claims our #1 seed, our hot seat for our junior men with an effortless run. Wow, that looked chill.
Yeah, he had me fooled a little bit those last few turns. I'm like, man, I don't know. He looks pretty chill. But he was
quite a difference.
Yeah, holding the traction, kind of keeping that exit speed, avoiding those mistakes we were seeing out of Hooter.
Milan, Volke, the Goodman Santa Cruz team. The junior French domination continues. What has he got for us? Quite a difference in style between the two brothers there. Till was charging hard visibly from the very start, and Max was just cool, calm, collected all the way to the finish line. And look at the difference in results. Is that a sign of things to come today, Aaron?
Yeah, we'll see. I think either technique could potentially work, but there's obviously a lot more risk if you choose to really hang it out at the bottom. I think it's going to reward these more technical riders. This is looking real good so far.
So far, so good for Milan. He's 0.6 of a second up on Max.
Yeah, staying low, kind of tucking over. Getting those backsides and those pumps up there, important.
Navigates his way past Aaron Gwynn's champion. Carving up on the hill there, gets that lily pad. I'm a big fan of that line there.
Yeah, good pump there. You got to get that good pump right before these jumps, because this is the speed you're going to have all the way to the bottom wall rides.
You've got to feel the pump. 0.7 seconds up on Max. So he's got a bit of an advantage coming into the speed trap, the highway, motorway section up here. Not quite the same swagger as young Maxie through there, but he goes for the huck.
Yeah, looking good. Getting those backsides. Got to scrub this and stay low.
I love to see that bit.
Yeah, tricky. You can't override a few of those jumps or you land flat. You kind of lose all your speed, so it's a tricky balance to kind of be charging. But if you go too hard and you go deep, you kind of mess it all up and you get to start over again. It's looking good, though.
Junior downhill French national champion. You can see with the sleeve there.
All right.
He's 0.6 up, so Max has got 0.1 of a second up on him as he comes into the woods and almost tucks the front. That bit is scaring me right there. Oh, he's looking a bit ragged coming in. Another charging style. Gets over the Michi Bridge into the steps.
Got to be patient here in this right-hand turn. Nice.
Straight in the pocket. Oh, he's on the limit.
Yeah.
Come on, Milan. Here we go into the crucial part. Launches off those steps. Those steps are massive. He misses the pedal. He must get clipped back in before this final gap jump. What's he got, Milan?
Yeah,
oh no!
Good recovery for what it was, but
it looking loose because it was. He's just stepped the back end out here. You could see he almost got a little bit offline coming into that section, and that compounds. And the reaction is almost a massive high side. He did lose just over half a second to Max through that bit where we saw Max really turn it on. He misses the ruts there. Big fan of that. He was 0.02 back just before that mistake. He's charging to the line. Can he still claim a podium position? Wow, he comes across the line. 3.3 seconds back. Right now, we thank Aaron Gwynn for coming to join us here today. We're going to hear a lot more from him later in the show. Always a pleasure to have a champion like Alran here in such an iconic location, as well as Rachel, to give us their insight. Thank you, Alran. Dane Jewett, 2 to go. I'm excited. Dane Jewett, another fast Canadian, charging his way down, taking no prisoners in that upper section of this course here in Leogang. As we've mentioned, the sun is out, the course is drying, but that wood section is becoming the determining factor in today's times. What's Dane got for us? He's 0.2 back from Max. That's almost nothing. You try and hit a little stopwatch and try and get 0.2 of a second, and there is nothing in it coming into this course with how much can happen in the lower woods sections. Looking smooth. Oh, slaps the berm, gets around the rocks there. And there we go. We're on. He launches into the rock garden. Taking no prisoners. Nice and smooth. Navigates that. Turns it into a bit of a flow section. He's got to regain his composure here. He's looking a little ragged, but he must stay calm as we approach one of the most pivotal parts of our course. Gets the lily pad. Pump, pump, pedal. Here he goes. What's Dane Jewett got for us? He's 0.2 back. He's lost a second to Max in that upper section there. So he is pushing hard. Is he trying a little too hard? What is going to happen into the lower section? He's pedaling hard out of every single corner here. Backside pump. These junior styles with the scrubs just look exceptional. Oh, stop it! Dane Jewett charging hard. This is where we mentioned Aaron say they want to fix their gears, have their gear selection set up early, take a breath, try and get some oxygen back into the system, calm the farm before we get into the steep and deep here. Braking bumps are getting bigger and bigger as we come in and we go from light to dark, something our athletes really have to consider. Oh. Charges his way, he's flowing nice, he's carrying good speed through the steeps. Once again opts for the low line, tries to get in the pocket. Now he must stay calm here. It's 0.8, so he has pulled back a little bit of time. 0.8 of a section. 0.8 of a second in this lower section is nothing. He goes the outside line, carrying good speed. Oh, like that. That's nice. Look at that extra speed he carries across that brand new section into our next timing sector. This is the pivotal moment before he spits out into the woods. He's carrying great speed down through here. He has lost 0.3 of a second, but he's looking good. He is clean, and he's out of the woods safe. Couple of corners to go, and he's home. 1.1 back. That currently puts him in 4th position. What's he got for us in this final few turns? He wheelies his way through the ruts. Pedal, 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 everything you got. Dane Jewett from Canada for the Pivot Factory Racing Team, and Dane comes across the line in second. 0.4 back from Max Alran. Dane Jewett, he looked good in that lower section. He makes it back. Bernard Kerr's happy with that one from the young charger. Dane Jewett, that young Canadian, charging across the line, and here's the man of the moment, Asa Vermette, Frameworks Racing, the USA prodigy. He's on track. He's through the fresh-cut, grassy off-camber section. Asa Vermette has had an exceptional start to the season here. Will he have an exceptional start to the course here in Leogang? We eagerly await the split times to see how he's navigating this upper section. So far looking smooth. So far putting that Nico Mullally built Frameworks bike to good use. Looking exceptional on the rough, chunky chunder. 0.4 of a second up here. So he's off to a good start. He's riding well. Misses the shroud, but carries great exit speed into the Hall of Fame. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking great. Cheeky pedal coming out. Will he get it for the lily pad? Oh, no! Ah! I'm sure that was not the line. Oh, Asa Vermette throws it away. Look how quickly it goes awry. We saw him get just offline, entering that upper root garden section. Let's have a look here. He grabs a pedal. He tucks the front on that early route offline, which no one's mad about. And it just pushes him off, and he gets caught out on that steep, grassy section of line he would be unfamiliar with. Oh, such a bummer. Asa Vermette, he's going to continue on down here. He's got to finish the run. Might see a little bit of style from the young American. That's an unfortunate mistake, but that's part of racing. Charging, you've got to push. And no doubt he was charging from the gun. Hopefully he's okay. He looks to be okay, and he'll recover well. Yeah, look at that. He's lost over 10 seconds and that one mistake. And at the entry to the motorway section, almost couldn't happen to a worse spot of the track. 55 k's an hour. That number one seed, our overall series leader, makes his way down into the woods. Oh, not scared still, so he obviously is not hurt. He's having a look around. And there we have it. So, unofficially, our number one rider of the day, Max Alran. Oh, what's going on? Ace has been told to stop here. Has he been red flagged? He's had a hugie, so unfortunately his time's off anyway. Max Alran. So we eagerly await to see what happened to Asa. He may have got told by a marshal to stop. There may be something or someone on the course, but regardless, Asa made a bit of a mistake early, which cost him over 10 seconds. So he was out of the game. He's going to make his way down here, suss out the conditions. He'll be able to pass on this information to his teammates as they come up later today. Asa, but Max Alran, what a run. Just looks so cool, calm and collected. Another learning curve for young Asa as these junior athletes develop in the lead up to their run to the elite. Oh, such a bummer. He'll be able to take some positives away. He was up at the top. He was looking good. So a little mistake there. Maybe he was pushing too hard. Maybe he didn't need to throw in those extra pedals, which may have... Oh, thank you. Asa Vermette with a lovely whip across the line. He's obviously going to be upset, but that was a great little thank you to the crowd of Leogang. He's going to try and find out what happened up there and see why someone tried to stop him. But the man of the moment, our junior men's number one rider of the day, Max Alran, claims a victory. He came into the woods. You could visibly see how stoked he was. He looked so calm and looked to be enjoying it. Classic French smooth style. Putting that common cell machine to use in front of the Alps here in Austria. He claims the number one spot with an effortless run, a calculated run, and the fastest time we've seen of the day. The boys have a cheeky debrief to see what happened there. Asa is still confused. Wow, what a morning of racing here in Leogang. Our junior women's and junior men's have provided some fantastic excitement, some fantastic action here today as we get to the chopper through the hills. The weather still lurking around. We do not know what's going to happen. It could rain this afternoon. There is some rains predicted. A little bit of a thunderstorm in the hills here as we go back to Max's run. Could be the determining factor in today, that patience, being prepared, setting up early, letting the track come to you so you don't get overawed. So here we go, our men's junior finals. Third place, Mike Huta held on, 2.8 back. Dane Jewett was 0.4 back, but Max Alran is our man of the moment with a 3:17.292. John Moselle came home in 12th. Will Hines from GB in 14th. Asa Vermette in 21st. Let's hear from our winner right now.
Max Alran with his first ever podium, and what a way to do it. Talk us through the run, Max.
Well, I'm so happy, like first win and first podium of the year. So I'm really happy, really stoked. I did a pretty good run, so not too bad. I did some mistake in the wood, but I'm really, really happy. First podium, and yeah, thanks all. Thanks everyone. Thanks for the team, and yeah, really happy.
The conditions are so tough out there. How much were you aware about what happened with your brother, Till? Because he had a few crashes just before your run.
Yeah, he said it to me, so I was pretty happy to win, but I'm also a kind of stressed for him. But yeah, it's like this. It's for everyone. But the conditions are pretty good. I like to ride in pretty muddy conditions, so it was so good.
They work for you. How will you be celebrating?
I don't know. We will see.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will see indeed. Young Max is frothing on that one. Yeah, not hard to be stoked on that with how well he rode, how composed he rode. A very effortless ride down this track, which has claimed so many. Setting up early, making sure he stayed calm as we check out our junior men's downhill standings. So, Dane Jewett takes our overall series leaders jersey by 5 points over Asa Vermette after that costly mistake there. Luke Wayman from New Zealand in third. Till Alran slides down to 11th. John Moselle in 14th. Gavin Tomlinson in 16th position. Ryan Hastings in 24th. Cody Burke, 28th position in the overall standings after today's round 3 of our junior downhill men's from our UCI Downhill World Cup event here. Look at these sectors. So a wide range of our fastest time. So Milan got the first 2 sectors, 33 and 45 seconds. And then it was Mike Hutto got sector 3. Dane Jewett claimed the 5th and final fastest sector, but it was Max Alran who come across the line with a 3:17, building and pacing his run to perfection to bring home the race and the victory here today for his Commensal team. Mike Hooter, what a run he had through the woods. It was a wild ride. It had us on the edge of our seats, but he held it together. And he charged across the line. Not scared to try and scrub a bit of speed there. Dane Jewett, again, another loose and exciting ride through the woods. 3 varied styles here today for our podium. Downhill junior men's, and then he come across the line just 0.4 back from our champion. Puts his Pivot factory racing machine on the podium. Another athlete that'll be feeding that information to his Pivot factory teammates. And then Max, effortless, incredible style, riding well, making that bike work for him and conquering this treacherous course here today. Conditions will be drying. The gondola is firing.